Welcome to the Collaborative Rabbit Hole Podcast. I'm Luke.
And I'm Brandon.
We're two cousins who enjoy asking the deep questions of life.
With topics ranging from faith and theology to history, philosophy, culture, and humor.
But we explore every rabbit hole along the way.
And drive each other deeper and deeper down.
Our goal is simple, to be mildly informative and wildly entertaining.
So, pull up a chair.
Buckle up.
Please keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times.
And let's see where today's rabbit trail leads.
Jinx. Do you mind if I move my microphone a little bit to the left so that way it's, because I feel like I'm going to be pointed to you a lot, so that way it'll pick up my voice better.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to try this. Yeah, a little bit left to center, so that way I look to you and it'll pick up my voice better.
Okay.
Okay.
That all recorded.
Excellent. That means it's working.
Okay. That was a much more complicated process than I anticipated.
Yeah.
I knew it would be because we had new setup. We added the camera this time. I got some new recording software, and that might help with editing a little bit. We'll see.
We'll see.
Fancier setup on the computer for sure, so I can monitor a little bit better.
Cool. We're going to try it and see what happens.
I really won't know until I actually start editing.
Yep.
There's no we in editing.
You're right.
Several I's though.
I figure this is your project. I will leave it in your expertise, in your capable hands.
If you say so.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we just went to lunch at Cracker Barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you pick Cracker Barrel?
I liked the variety of options we have over there.
Yep.
Especially the breakfast foods.
Except they didn't have what you wanted.
Yeah, so they had this campfire menu, and I wanted to try their breakfast campfire thing, but they were out of the potatoes for it. And I was like, you know what? Instead of hash browns or whatever, I'll just get another breakfast thing. So I just got blueberry pancakes and some bacon and eggs.
Yep. I got my usual. Chicken and dumplings, mac and cheese, and green beans. The chicken and dumplings, though, today were really thin. Like the broth was really thin, and then the dumplings themselves were rolled really thin.
Yeah.
And they didn't bring a spoon, and so they were just sliding off the fork and kept splattering the broth all over my shirt.
Yeah, you should have asked for a spoon. Well, too late
I
now.
managed. I usually eat my dumplings with a fork, and then I'll use a spoon like for the broth at the end. But and then the biscuits they were like really dense today.
You think so?
Yeah, not as fluffy as usual.
A
little disappointing.
Yeah.
I usually go at night though, so it was a different experience at lunch. Didn't know any of the staff there.
Were you out of your element?
Yes, totally.
It's got to be hard for you.
Yep. You wanted to talk about the rebranding?
The rebranding. Oh, yeah. So do y'all remember a while back, several months ago, when Cracker Barrel did their rebrand, like with the new logo, and they renovated some of their restaurants and stuff? Okay, so what did you think about all of that, Luke?
I didn't care.
Okay.
I thought the whole uproar over it was pretty dumb.
It was overstated. It was overdone.
Like, I don't know what the big deal was.
Yeah. So like when I saw the new logo, I was like, okay, I don't like it as much as the old logo, but it's not bad. It's just different. And a lot of people were all up in arms about it.
I mean, it was still a barrel just on its side.
So that I didn't even recognize it as a barrel.
Oh my goodness. It's the shape of a barrel on its side.
Okay, wait.
That's not the new logo.
I thought it.
That's the old one.
No, it looked. Okay, let's look this up. I want to see this. Because I thought this was the new... Well, okay,
No.
This isn't exactly it.
This is the new logo.
Okay. I could see...
And see, here's the old one. See, it's that, but with the man with the barrel next to it. But that's from the old logo.
Okay.
The new logo is a barrel shape. It's just on its side.
I can see that. I didn't expect the barrel to bulge out that pointedly with the center, but I haven't seen many barrels, so there could be that too.
Okay.
Anywho, and the renovated restaurants, I'd seen pictures, but I'd never been to one of them, so I was like, okay, it's not what I'm used to, but if it is what it is. Maybe it looks a little bit more like a Bob Evans or an IHOP or something, but it's not the end of the world.
I mean, we like to say all the time, it's a free country.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is, all the people in uproar over it, they're the free market people. And like, a business has every right to change their logo if they want. They have every right to remodel if they want.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to be so upset about something, let's be upset about the company that makes EpiPens. I
Yeah.
have a peanut allergy, and so I carry EpiPens, and it costs just a few dollars to make EpiPens,
Mhm.
and they charge $500 for them.
That doesn't sound right to me.
There's the generic EpiPen that you can get for $50,
Mhm.
brand name $500.
Yeah.
Guess what?
What?
They're all made by the same company.
Huh.
If they can afford to sell one for $50 and still make a profit off of it, there's no reason to sell them for $500.
Yeah.
But free market.
They wanna make their money.
But if we're going to be upset about something, let's not be upset about the Cracker Barrel rebrand. Let's be upset about EpiPens and insulin and other medications.
Things that actually matter.
So, like, so many of my medications, like, my insurance covers it, but I can still see the original cost, and it'll be thousands of dollars.
Dude.
Like, some of them are $2,000 or $3,000.
Wow.
Yeah, like, it's a big problem.
They don't need to be that much.
No, there is no reason for medicine to cost that much, especially when your life depends on them. We need government regulation.
Hmm.
That's what we need.
I could go along with that. I'm not a big regulation guy, but that is a case where I could support regulation.
But no, let's get upset about Cracker Barrel.
Yeah. And why don't we freak out whenever McDonald's renovates their lobby or their building for the umpteenth time? We haven't had the big panics about that or the big uproars about that. But Cracker Barrel, that's the one we freak out about.
So that's actually one reason I started going to Cracker Barrel. I hadn't been going to Cracker Barrel very often at all.
Really?
And then when they rebranded and I heard the uproar, I started going more regularly just to, help them out.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, that was nice of you.
because I'm sure one person does a lot to
It's the thought that
keep
counts.
a restaurant afloat.
Yeah.
Although Brahms,
Mhm.
when they were supposed to be coming to Texarkana,
Mhm.
and then they didn't.
5 years later.
Yeah, that was right before I moved to Missouri, and so I think they must have heard I was moving to Missouri, and I wouldn't be here to keep them in business.
It's all because of you, Luke.
Yeah,
How could you? How could you leave
too
us?
bad they don't know I'm back yet, apparently.
Yeah, you should write them a letter or an email or both. It'll reach somebody.
Well, there's so many people here that wants one, I'm surprised it hasn't happened, but
Yeah.
whatever.
We are getting a skating rink at some point, though. That's
Again,
with
the same name as the previous one,
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
but it's going to be a lot smaller than the previous one, apparently.
Yeah, they weren't able to find a building that was as large as the original, so right now they're going for the
They
smallest
should
one.
drive out the flea market in the old one.
With what resources? That would be cool if they did put it back in the original building. That would be nostalgic and pretty wonderful.
Yeah, but whatever. So last night I went to go see the new Odyssey movie.
What did you think of it?
It was pretty good. I was a little disappointed by some things.
Like what? And also, are we going to give a spoiler warning for a movie based on a 3,000-year-old story?
No.
Okay. No spoiler warning. If you've missed it, that's on you.
If you haven't read it already, oh well.
Yeah. Okay, so what were you going to say? Like, what disappointed you?
Particularly the Cyclops scene.
Was it because they only had one Cyclops and they didn't do "Who are you? I am no one"?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
That bothered me too.
because the wordplay is what really makes it great.
Yeah.
Because, he kind of used that to drive the Cyclops a little crazy at first. And like there was a little back and forth with it, I think, if I remember correctly. It's been 10 plus years since I actually read it.
Yeah.
But I was thinking there was a little back and forth with it, and it kind of drove the Cyclops crazy that nobody is doing this to me. And then finally, when the other Cyclopses hear him scream, "Who's attacking you? Nobody's attacking me." And so they just don't come and help because
Nobody
they
is
think,
attacking.
nobody is there. So the reason they didn't have it, because I did look this up. In Greek, he said, "My name is Utis," which is a possible Greek name. It means nobody, but it is a possible, realistic name in Greek. Whereas nobody in English is not a name that we use. And so he decided it just didn't translate well.
Huh.
And Christopher Nolan decided not to put that in there.
They couldn't have just had a Cyclops who was gullible enough to believe that his name was nobody?
I mean, it seems like it's still a doable trick,
Yeah.
but they didn't put it in there, and that disappointed me.
Yeah. They made the Cyclops a lot more monstrous, and like we didn't hear him talking until after he was injured and lost his
Yeah,
eye.
and like after he gets injured, they're like, he can talk? We didn't know he could talk. Well, in the actual epic, they were talking the whole time.
Right.
So
It was more of a surprise then, and when they were on the beach trying to get away, and he was still like he was calling out Poseidon. Was it on the beach or was it in the cave when he was calling out?
it was in the cave when he was calling out Poseidon, but it was on the beach when the soldiers were telling Odysseus that they had heard him calling for Poseidon.
Yeah, for his father.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one thing I was disappointed in. And also, like, I went to see it with a couple of friends, and one of them had not read the Odyssey, so they didn't get to hear that scene of how crafty Odysseus was, and that's a bit of a disappointment.
Well, I mean, the whole new adaptation is not quite like the actual original.
Yeah,
Like the ending, even it ends with them sailing off into the sunset.
because they broke the commandment, treat others as you would want to be treated, and giving welcoming strangers into your house.
But that's not how the actual story ended.
Yeah, they stayed, and Odysseus retook, or he got to be the king of Ithaca once again.
Yeah, because Athena intervened for him.
Mhm.
So, big difference in the ending. Didn't care for that.
So remind me, when you said Athena intervened, was that the part where she got Zeus to have Odysseus released from
No, no, no,
Calypso's
no,
island?
no. At the end, after he kills everybody, all the suitors,
Mhm.
their families want justice. But Athena intervenes and they come to some agreement so that Odysseus remains king.
Okay. I'd listened to two retellings with podcasts, so I didn't get to read the original story, so that's a part that I had missed.
I mean, I have not read the original story because I don't know Greek that well.
Well, me neither.
And actually, fun fact, the Odyssey and the Iliad, Homer, the poet, wrote in classical Greek,
Mhm.
which is different from Koine Greek, which is what the Bible's written in.
Mhm.
And so I know a little bit about Koine Greek, but not really classical Greek.
Interesting.
It's not like, so compare like Koine Greek is like common Greek. It's the common language that people spoke.
Mhm.
So you can compare like proper British English
Mhm.
to American slang.
So we've had like 300 years of separation as the colonists went off and developed their own style.
Yeah, and so you can sort of understand it, but there's still a gap there too. But even Koine Greek, I've studied it, but I don't know it well enough to sit down and read the Bible in the original Greek.
Right.
The classical Greek is what the poets wrote in,
Yeah.
and what was more common at the time too.
So this would be sort of equivalent to like writing in Shakespearean English or in Middle English, perhaps, comparing the difference between classical Greek and Koine Greek. Would you say that's an accurate
Sure.
analogy? Okay.
I don't know it well enough to be making judgments on the accuracy of analogies.
That's fair. And different languages
I-
evolve at different rates depending on the
I'm just
environment.
saying that some words are recognizable, others are not.
Yeah.
That's just the only point.
Yeah.
Just because you know one version of Greek does not mean you can read another version of Greek.
Right.
You might recognize like fish or something, but
Ichthus?
ichthus, yes.
Ichthus. Okay, I almost got it.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking of something a second ago. Something else about the Odyssey.
Do tell.
I'm trying to think of it. Oh, I did really like how they brought in the flashbacks from the Iliad
Mhm.
to remind of that story, the Trojan War and the Trojan horse, because I think a lot of modern people are really familiar with that story, but they don't know how that connects to the Odyssey and all of this fits together.
Yeah.
And so I liked those flashbacks and just tying all of that together. And that also helped to make the story more interesting and engaging because the Odyssey on its own can be a little difficult to follow.
Yeah.
Because he's going from one place to the next, and sometimes he's in between places and we don't get a lot. And then There's the interludes at the back at the palace with the suitors and the queen and all that.
Yeah.
And that was hard for me to read, but the movie really brought it to life and kind of modernized it
Mhm.
and like brought in like PTSD and his emotional journey and all of that, and not just the physical obstacles that he's facing.
Yeah.
Fun fact about the movie,
Mhm.
Anne Hathaway played the queen,
Mhm.
Penelope, and the city's up on a hill,
Yeah.
and so they're having to walk up the hill every day.
Mhm.
And somebody said the queen shouldn't be looking tired. And so they started flying her up in a helicopter every day. Which, I mean, it wasn't just special for her. They had disabled crew members that needed to ride or equipment transporting back and forth.
Uh-huh.
But she was the only one of the actors that got a helicopter ride.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
definitely interesting.
She wouldn't have left the palace, and frankly, with how many servants would live on site? Would any servants live on site, or would they all have their homes like Mentor did?
No idea.
Okay. So I know that Mentor had his house, so maybe the other servants lived outside of the palace and came in. I don't know.
I wonder how tired she would look from walking up the hill, though.
I don't know.
Everyone else walked up the hill, so
Yeah.
I didn't notice anyone else looking particularly tired except for Mentor.
And he was an older man in that case.
Yep.
So,
Old and blind.
yeah, I didn't really realize how tired he must have been when I saw the movie. So it went over my head.
Oh, and the dog. The dog was tired.
Yes. He was older in dog years than Mentor was, I would think. Because dogs can live, maybe 10 years unless they're really lucky, give or take 6 to 10 years, if I recall.
I don't know. I don't care about dogs, remember?
Yeah, I know, but I read something a while back, and they specifically made a point in the movie that the dog was 20 years old, and that was unusual. He was waiting for his master to come back.
Yes. So yeah, but overall it's a good movie.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed
It's
it.
just when you have the original story to compare to,
Mhm.
it's a little more difficult, but it was a good movie.
The flashbacks definitely helped with the story and keeping things interesting. I thought that was a good choice.
Yeah. Now, the best movie I've seen in a while is one we went to see together.
Project Hail Mary.
Project Hail Mary. I loved that movie.
I did too. That's one of my favorites now, if not my favorite now.
Yeah, and like it was one that like I wasn't sure if I would like it,
Mhm.
but I wanted to go see it just because of the premise.
Yeah.
But I've told you I like movies that help me think about stuff, and that was definitely one that made you think, and it helped
Mhm.
us with our aliens conversation too. Of course,
Oh yeah.
that was a deep movie.
I've heard that one of the reasons it's popular was that you have a hero who's capable. Well, he may not even be a hero in the traditional sense, but the protagonist who is capable and has the skills to solve whatever problems come our way. Like it's not just the wacky guy who's totally ill prepared and unable to do it. It's somebody who has the skill set to face this problem. And so seeing somebody who's capable might have appealed to audiences in that way.
Well, that and also just he's like all of us. He didn't have a lot of confidence. He sort of had imposter syndrome, I think,
Mhm.
and then was able to figure it out.
Yeah.
But I think the deeper story is the friendship between him and Rocky.
Yeah.
Which we'll try not to give spoilers for this one because it is only a few months old, not 3,000 years.
Right.
But like my mom didn't want to see the movie because she isn't that into sci-fi, but after I saw it, I told her this isn't really sci-fi. Sci-fi is kind of the setting of the movie, you could say,
Mhm.
but it's really a story about friendship.
Yeah.
And that's really what this is.
Making hard decisions because of the people you care about.
Well, that and then forming this new bond with the alien and working together to solve a common problem.
Right.
And so, like, several different deep layers to that.
Mhm.
Which also, I will say, since I brought up our aliens episode, my mom thought that was weird. Like, she was so weirded out by it. She said it either went completely over her head or it's so far off to the side that it's things she never thinks about.
So thinking about it made her uncomfortable.
Yeah, your mom loved it. So I asked Aunt Elisa her thoughts since
Mhm.
I got mixed reviews
Yeah.
from our moms.
Uh-huh.
She sided with my mom.
Aw.
She was kind of weirded out by it. And she said, I'm not into sci-fi.
Mhm.
And I'm sitting there thinking, that conversation was not sci-fi. We were talking reality. Like, this isn't fiction that we were talking about. I didn't tell her that, but
I did bring in the conspiracy theory stuff that I'd heard and read about, so
Well, yeah,
which I don't believe in, by the way, just on the record.
but she was talking specifically about the aliens part.
Yeah. Did the movie reviews, do you think that helped that episode when we talked about which movie, the Spielberg movie that we saw? What's it called? Disclosure Day.
Disclosure Day.
Do you think that helped the conversation, or do you think it detracted from it in any
Well,
way?
I think we had talked mainly about that in the previous. It was the Aliens Part 2 specifically that people are having the problem with. The one
Gotcha.
before I didn't hear any bad feedback about, but
Okay.
the Aliens Part 2 where we started talking about theological implications,
Mhm.
demons, things like that,
Yeah.
that's where it got weird for people, I think.
Mhm.
But then I did hear from a lady at church
Mhm.
Wednesday night. She had just listened to Aliens Part 2 and really enjoyed it because she has seen a UFO before.
Oh.
So, and I was surprised that she listened to the podcast. I was surprised that she enjoyed the Aliens podcast, actually.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so I've gotten some good reviews too. It's a very niche subject, I guess.
Yeah.
And I will say that episode has had our lowest audience.
That's too bad. It's a really interesting episode.
Yeah, but like episode 5 has already surpassed. Episode 5 has only been out for like 2.5 days, and it's already surpassed what episode 4 Aliens Part 2 had in like the first full week.
I wonder how much having a two-parter could have been a partial issue as well.
Well, I don't know. It was kind of unavoidable because it was so long.
Mhm.
But I will say that we have had some more views, like people listening to episode 5 and then going back to listen to episode 4 too. And
Mhm.
so that's helped some too. But we will see.
We will see. Was there more on the Odyssey or anything? Or, I mean, I can
We've
talk.
already moved past the Odyssey.
Ah, okay.
Did you have more you wanted to say on the Odyssey? I can edit it back.
I was going to mention, how come Penelope didn't have any white hairs or gray hairs when Odysseus had a beard of gray? It's like,
Well, she's in the comfort of the palace with servants taking care of her, being flown up by helicopter every day so she doesn't look too tired, while he's out on the sea and doing all this aging more rapidly.
well, yeah, it's just, I know under stress he would age faster, but still, you'd figure, I think Penelope would have some gray hairs after 20 years 20 years of being
Well,
queen.
she had like more wrinkles. They showed the age in her face, I think,
Huh.
as it went.
I didn't quite catch that.
But also back then, they often married quite young,
Mhm.
especially the women.
Mhm.
And so she could have been like teenager when she got married, and 20 years later, she's in her 30s or maybe even 40s.
Okay, that makes sense.
And so she's not necessarily that old.
Yeah.
The wives back then were typically a lot younger than their husbands anyway.
That's a fair point.
Just a thought.
Yeah. 'Cause I guess I'm used to being around well, I've met women in their 20s and 30s who start having some white hairs or some gray hairs, like both people in my family and just friends as well. So
Well, there are genetic conditions that cause that. But
certainly, like I don't see it as much in movies and on TV as I would like to see it. Like,
well, that's also, they just choose not to show that on movies.
yeah, and I feel I feel like it's unrealistic. It's like, show us some more white hair, some more gray hair. Oh, you've got a few white hairs. Well, yeah, that's normal.
Okay. Anything else about the Odyssey?
Before seeing the movie, I was reading a review on pluggedin.com. I noticed they specifically mentioned how they took out some of the pagan gods and goddesses. Like, they didn't mention them as much, and we only got to see Athena and Calypso. I don't think Circe was a human, right? She wasn't a goddess.
I think she was human. I'm not sure. She
Okay.
could have been like demigod, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. But like Calypso and Athena were the only ones that we actually saw in human form. We didn't see Zeus or Poseidon or Hermes or anybody like that. We heard mention of they think they're doing this or that, and of course they went to the realm of Hades, and we didn't see Hades either.
Circe is human.
Okay.
But according to Wikipedia, she is sometimes considered a goddess or a nymph.
Like, would she be the goddess of magic, or would she be...
I don't know. It doesn't specify.
Gotcha.
I read you the full sentence.
Yeah. That'll be another story for another time, or for my own personal research. Okay, so what did you think of the scene between Circe and Odysseus's crew?
I mean, I did not imagine how graphic It would be.
Yes, that was disturbing. That was the most uncomfortable I had been in that entire movie.
Yes, but I also enjoyed it.
Yeah?
Like, it was fun to watch.
Okay. I think you enjoyed it more than me.
Although some of them, like, as she was morphing them,
Mhm,
I wondered if she was even turning them each into different animals instead of all pigs,
mhm,
just because some of the shapes they took as she was doing it. One looked like a horse for a second,
mm,
and like a horse's nose,
mhm.
snout, instead of a pig, but, by the end, they were all pigs.
Yeah.
But I liked how they kind of tied that together because I don't remember that in the original story, how they were pigging out over the food and she turned them into pigs and compared them to the slobs they were,
Mhm.
pillaging towns, pigging out over the food, things like that.
Yeah.
And then especially like at the end when she turned them back into humans,
She said putting their masks on back
yeah,
to
I'm
your
putting you
disguises.
back into your disguise.
Yeah.
Like you're really pigs disguised as humans.
Yeah.
And there's a powerful point there, I think, but
Mhm.
not from the original story. But I liked how they kind of tied that together
Yeah.
and added something else to think about.
I wonder though, when they were pigging out on her food, how much of that was them as hungry men, and how much of that was the spell they were under? Did the spell make them pig out? Because I know that they physically couldn't stop when she transformed them.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it was the spell, but I think that also ties into she was making them do what was already in their nature
Hmm.
because we had already seen some scenes where they would do whatever it took to get what they needed and what they wanted.
Yeah.
And that even kind of comes up again later that, they've been afraid of the sea people all this time, the Greeks along the coast. And it turns out this group is the sea people
Yeah.
that have been attacking everybody and stealing stuff.
Hmm. What is it they say on the internet? You either die a hero or you live long enough to become a villain?
Yes, I have heard that, but I don't think that's necessarily what it is. I think it goes back to like the idea that
But
the
we're
hero and the villain is kind of defined by which side you're on.
people don't think of themselves as the villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And history is typically defined by the winner.
Hmm. And we do have records about the real Sea People, and there was one instance when the Sea People invaded Egypt, and the Egyptians fought. They fought back and they defeated them. So, just from a historical perspective, I know the Sea People weren't the same as the Greeks back then. Like the Philistines might have been some of the Sea People as well. Would you agree with that?
I don't know.
Okay, I've read something about the Philistines were possibly the Sea People.
I don't know that much about ancient Greek culture.
Okay,
Not from back then.
yeah, I've only learned a little bit myself, so I'd have to do some more research to be sure.
I only know like from the 4th century on.
Yeah, I know the movie placed it in the Bronze Age or the Bronze Age collapse, so that would have been earlier than that.
Well, Homer wrote it earlier, so
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know about the sea people. I just know the story of the Odyssey.
Hmm.
And in the movie, they realized that they were the sea people that had been doing all these things that everybody feared.
Yeah.
Which kind of goes to that point that of who they really are.
Monsters or men.
Anything else about the Odyssey?
Nothing that comes to mind.
Anything else about Project Hail Mary?
I loved the movie. It is possibly my favorite movie now. And if not, it is at least my favorite that I've seen in years. So that's going to top my charts for a while now. And I've seen several movies since then. I enjoyed the other movies, but they just weren't as good as Project Hail Mary. I will also note, going into the movie with both of my cousins, I was like, okay, do I make jokes or not? Because, I like to make funny comments during movies, but they started cracking jokes in the beginning, and I was quiet for the rest of the movie because I loved their humor. It was so great and so well timed. I was like, I'm just going to enjoy this. This is wonderful.
I don't even remember all this, but okay.
I loved the humor in
We're
Project Hail
usually
Mary.
not the funny ones.
Yeah, I try to be the funny. What, you're talking about us as people, or the movies aren't the funny ones?
Us as people.
Yeah, I try to be funny, but I don't always succeed.
We know. And I typically don't enjoy your humor during movies. Not at the movies.
Sorry.
Because at the movies, like, other people can hear you.
Yeah.
I'd rather respect their
Gotcha.
enjoyment of the movie.
Gotcha.
Like, honestly, like, you and Hannah went to see Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone with me.
Uh-huh.
I will never go to see a movie with the two of you together ever again.
I'm sorry.
Y'all were like quoting out loud. Both of you quoting out loud the movie. Loudly, too. Yeah.
I don't even
No.
remember that.
It was also Valentine's Day, and I was a third wheel, and yeah, no thank you.
Going to see the movie was your idea also,
It
but
was,
we will not do that again.
but
Okay.
no.
I'm
I
sorry.
went and saw the second and third on my own.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And for our audiences, when I make comments and jokes and stuff, I try to do it between dialogue. So like I try not to talk over the actors so we can actually get what's in the movie. But sometimes I don't always find the right time. So that's my bad whenever I do that.
Well, I appreciate you leaving the Project Hail Mary humor to the movie itself.
It was so good I couldn't beat it.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, you had another movie question.
Okay, so growing up, were there any movies that either like scared you as a kid or disturbed you or whatnot?
Gremlins.
Gremlin.
And I don't even remember exactly, like at one point one jumps out or something.
Mhm.
Like I don't know. I think what traumatized me was that it really scared my mom. Like my mom was actually screaming.
Hmm.
And I think that traumatized me more than the movie itself. And we cut off the movie and never resumed it.
Really?
But just that experience has made me never want to try that movie again.
Oh, I never knew.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, but yeah, that's the only one that really comes to mind.
Yeah. I saw it in high school. Like we recorded it on the DVR, and I think we sat down and watched it. It was a bit scary, but it was trying to be like one of those silly monster movies. So like the Gremlins had their creepy moments and the transformations and whatnot, but they were just trying to be like comical villains or comical
Yeah.
monsters. So that's an interesting how it turned out with different
Yeah. Well, this
audiences.
was like when I was in like second or third grade, I think. So I was a lot
Mm,
younger, and I really don't remember any of it except my mom screaming.
gotcha. That's really interesting. For me, I remember watching Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban in theaters. I hated seeing the Dementors. They were so scary. Like we're not talking living room. We're talking like TV. We're talking big screen TV, close-ups of the Dementors' faces. That was so scary and so ugly. I hated it. I was terrified. And there was one part, it was either during or after. Okay, spoilers if you haven't read the books or seen the movies. After the werewolf scene, where it's like, okay, I know the Dementors are coming back again. I'm gonna go to the bathroom at this time so I can avoid it. When I got back, though, I came back just in time for the Dementor scene.
You left too early.
I left too early. I regretted that, but I survived the movie. I just don't like seeing Dementors close up on the big screen. The design was so good, it was scary. So yeah, there's that.
Okay. And you had another one too, didn't you?
Oh, I've got several more. Do you have any? Any
No, I
more?
told you Gremlins is the only one that comes to mind.
Okay. Let's see. I know with Anastasia, the cartoon, it was I think with Rasputin, like him falling apart, like that was a bit creepy. What really made me uncomfortable or scared me was the boat scene where Rasputin's demonic minions are trying to lead Anastasia off the edge while she's sleepwalking. And so it's just that was really scary as a child.
I know I saw Anastasia. I don't actually remember it.
Yeah. I remember parts of it. I'm not sure if I remember the entire movie, but I remember some parts of it.
You remember the traumatic parts.
Yeah.
So what else is there? Because those are the only two I knew about.
Okay. I remember in The Wizard of Oz, whenever the Wicked Witch had captured Dorothy and had her locked up in the room, and she had that hourglass where it was like, by the end of this time, you will perish or you will die or whatever. And so then the time was running out, and the axeman or the Tin Woodsman, excuse me, was trying to chop through the door to get to Dorothy, and Dorothy was just screaming, "Help! Help!" You know, it's like that was scary.
Well, I never cared for the flying monkeys in The Wizard of Oz, but I wouldn't consider that traumatic.
Yeah. And I guess also relating back to talking about Cersei and the pigs, I guess body horror and forced like transformations and stuff, that can be kind of creepy for me with movies and TV shows as well. Though I will say that the werewolf transformation in Harry Potter, I don't think it was as rough. It wasn't as rough for me as the Dementors. So I guess it's on a case by case thing. And like, yeah, watching the Odyssey, Cersei transforming them in, that was rough and disturbing.
Well, she was like reaching down their throats and turning them inside out.
Yeah, and
So, yeah.
she was like molding them like clay
Mhm.
or like models, and that yeah. If I had seen that as a kid, I would have been much more terrified of that. So I'm glad I saw it as an adult in the present day.
So, what are your favorite movies?
Favorite movie?
Project Hail Mary.
Project Hail Mary. Before that, there was Tron Legacy, and before that, there was Race to Witch Mountain.
Anna Sophia Robb.
Yeah, she was my celebrity crush back in the day.
Yep.
Let's see. I'm also a big fan of the Star Wars franchise, especially the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. I love the Harry Potter movies, especially the first two. I guess I like the set design and how they went with that.
And Richard Harris.
Richard Harris, which one? Oh, was he played Gilderoy Lockhart?
Dumbledore.
Dumbledore. Yeah.
Lockhart is Kenneth Branagh.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, I did like the Richard Harris Dumbledore. The next actor, he did a good job too.
Michael Gambon.
Michael Gambon. He just wasn't Richard Harris.
I mean, I never really cared for him until like the very last movie.
Mhm.
At that point, he's already dead, but he felt like like at the end when Harry's in that, I don't know, dream state in between life and death. I don't know what you call it, but he felt like he finally came into that Dumbledore character in that scene. So I don't know.
Interesting.
It was a little late at that point.
Yeah. So if you were to go back and to watch them now, which I'm sure you have.
Oh, yes. Harry Potter movies, I make a point to watch them once a year. Same for Star Wars. I wouldn't count those among my favorites, though it's just a tradition that I have.
Yeah. I didn't know you had the Star Wars tradition.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha.
And I watched them in episode order, not the 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3 order.
Gotcha.
I don't care for that.
Okay, so have you incorporated Rogue One or Solo into your order?
Rogue One, yes. Solo, I have a couple of times, but not every time.
Okay.
And I don't do the 7, 8, and 9. Which I will say on spoilers, because earlier you talked about a friend that wanted to go see movies on opening night to avoid spoilers.
Right.
And I don't like opening night because of the crowds.
Me neither.
I usually wait a while before I go see it.
Yeah.
The only time that I actually had a spoiler was Star Wars Episode 7. Because everybody this was when we were at OC, and everybody in the dorm went to go see it on opening night. I had to work that night, so I didn't get to go see it.
Yeah.
And I was sitting outside the dorm, and everyone comes in from the movie, and they're talking about it. And like the first thing I hear is that Han Solo died.
Oh.
Yeah.
That stinks.
It was awful.
Yeah. Did they realize, like, did you tell them, hey, spoilers? Like, did they realize what they had done?
No, it upset me, and my roommate realized what had happened, and he went and chewed everybody out for revealing spoilers.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Yeah. I remember watching, so Avatar The Last Airbender, an animated series from Nickelodeon. Like, I started watching it because a girl I had liked was watching it. And also, I spent a lot of time on the wiki just reading about it, and I spoiled the whole series for myself before I watched it. And then I watched the whole series. So I didn't get the full experience coming in as a newcomer.
Well, there are sometimes, like with TV shows, where I want to know what happens just because takes so long for it to happen on the TV show.
Yeah.
And there are some shows that they're so popular. I knew, like Grey's Anatomy, it was popular well before I was interested in it. And so I already knew a lot of the story even before I watched it.
Right.
A lot of times I don't care. Han Solo was killed by his own son. That is a major spoiler.
Yes.
That I did not want to hear.
Yes. It's too bad that they revealed it.
Yeah.
There was this one video game, Pokemon Scarlet. There was some very important information about the professor. If you know, you know. I was listening to a soundtrack on YouTube, and the top comment in the comment section was about the fate of the professor. And it's like, whoa, spoilers. And so when I actually got to that scene during my own gameplay, it's like, well, I already knew about that. I wish I hadn't. Because I've seen some YouTubers reacting to that scene, and it's like they were just totally flabbergasted or blown away. And I was just like, well, I wasn't. I wish I'd been, but I wasn't. Thanks a lot, random YouTuber.
So did you get through your list of favorite movies?
I think so, yes. We need to know yours.
Mine would be The Patriot. And these aren't in any particular order. I can't choose. I've got 4 though.
Yeah.
The Patriot, Project Hail Mary, The Guardian.
The Guardian?
It's a Kevin Costner movie. He's in the Coast Guard rescue swimmer.
I've never seen that one.
I know, because I watched it when we rented that house together, and you didn't want to watch it with me.
Oh, okay.
Then Hacksaw Ridge.
Okay. That one we did see together. That was a really good one.
Yeah. Had a little bit of like every genre pretty much.
Hmm.
Is what I liked about that. It had a little bit of romance in it, but not too much. It didn't dominate the story. It had some Christian principle and like that philosophical type of story. It was historical,
Mhm.
based on a true story. It military action, and then he was having those nightmares, and so there's even a horror element in it. And I
Mhm.
just like how it blended all of those things together
Yeah.
really well.
I'd forgotten about the nightmare scenes. What was he having nightmares about?
The Japanese soldiers coming up on top of him,
Okay.
like right over his hole.
I think I might remember something, but it's been a while.
You should rewatch it.
Mm.
But yeah, those are my top 4.
Mm.
So, how about a Mount Rushmore of actors?
Actors, like the biggest actors in Hollywood history?
No, your favorites.
My favorites.
4. Mount Rushmore.
Huh. Okay, because like my favorites would be different than the ones that I thought were the best. I will say I do like Jim Carrey. I like how animated he is with his acting,
Okay.
how over the top he goes. I'd have to think on it. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
What about you?
Kevin Costner.
Mhm.
I like a lot of his movies. Tom Hanks, of course. Haley Steinfeld. And I need to think on a 4th.
Okay.
I should have been more prepared for my own question.
We could add Jim Carrey and we can have our Mount Rushmore.
Jim Carrey is not on my Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
No.
Since I have 1 and you have 3, we could combine them to be our collective Mount Rushmore.
Robin Williams might make mine, though.
I was thinking Robin Williams. Like, he was a great actor and he was so funny. Like, he could be on a Mount Rushmore of actors or a Mount Rushmore of comedians. I wonder if, like, we should do any classical actors like Audrey Hepburn or Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
Not them. Okay.
Not on mine.
Okay.
You can on yours if you want.
Maybe if there was, like, a best actors of all time kind of thing, or best movie actors of all time, they might be there.
Anything else you want to add for this episode?
I don't know what else to say.
Any parting thoughts?
Not really.
Okay.
You have anything?
Nope.
Bye, everyone.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, please like, subscribe, and leave a review. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, where the conversation never ends. Thanks for listening.